Welcome to the Brilliantly Sexy Show with Devina Kaur. Our intention is to inspire, awaken and create global leaders using the Sexy Brilliant philosophy. Discover sacred wisdom and the benefits of self-leadership with your host, author of Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious, and founder of Sexy Brilliant Global Revolution, Devina Kaur.
Hello, namaste. Welcome everybody to Brilliantly Sexy live show. And today it is Tuesday, the 20th of April, 2021. And I am so fortunate that today I have Tony Taylor, who's all the way from Washington in the United States. And Tony is an ex-Marine and he is a motivational speaker. And Tony is also, Tony used to be a full-time single father. And I wanted to invite Tony on the show because he's going to be talking to us about overcoming his adversity and how men can also be full-time single parents. Before we get onto the show, I want to know where you guys are from, and do you have children? Do you know any single parents? And what is your experience with single parents? So let me know in the comments and say hi to Tony, and we're going to get the show started. So Tony, tell us a little bit about yourself, and you were a full-time single father. I want to know a little bit more about that, please.
Yeah. Thank you. That was a beautiful video. I love that video and the introduction. This is good. I'm so glad to finally be on your show and see you again. This is amazing. And as for me, being a single dad was one of many trials and tribulations that I had to go through as a man, right? As a man, I've had a combination of different events that kind of prepared me for that. I was born in a city called Gary, Indiana. I don't know if you're too familiar with it, but
I have never heard about it.
No, it's the town that Michael Jackson is from. Remember that song, Gary, Indiana? Yeah. So did you like that? Am I singing? No, no, but I'm from Gary, Indiana, and it is, for the most part, it's a beautiful town, but it's really rough, right? So I grew up in some very rough neighborhoods, and that kind of prepared me to life, to what you were just talking about. I was a full-time Marine at the time, and I got a divorce, and I ended up fighting for full custody of my girls at the time. And it was just going through that in Washington State, being a single male and working for the United States Marine Corps. And I was a firefighter. I was a firefighter in the military. So that's what was hard. And just kind of going through that situation, it built on to the foundation of the person that you see today. But then there was some times, going through that adversity that I wanted to give up, because I didn't have enough money for a lawyer like most people would have. I didn't have no money for a lawyer. I had a full-time nanny living in a house. I was living on a couch. I couldn't afford to give her a real nanny salary. So I said, you know what, I'm going to sneak. I was living on base housing, right? And I'm like, I'm going to sneak you into our townhome, and you can't tell anybody. If anybody asks you who you are, you're going to tell them that you're my cousin. And then she's like, how am I going to be your cousin? She's obviously, I'm black, she's white, and I'm just like, go with it, girl. This is, hey, this is weird. This is the 2000s. Come on, let's make it work. So that's what I did. And she slept in the main bedroom, and I was on the couch, and I would have, my daughter on the couch with me. And I remember just saying, like, man, I know, like, God didn't bring me through all of these different struggles so that I can be on the couch in my own house. God didn't bring me through, going and being in the military and being shot at home and just all of these different things that I went through in my life for me to just end up on the couch with no money in my pocket. So I just started to change my mindset. I started telling myself, this is only temporary. This is temporary. There is a brighter future for you tomorrow. Because I started telling myself that because before I was telling myself, there's no hope. There's no hope. They're not going to give me custody of my girls. There's no way that they're going to I'm going to have custody of 3 girls, right? As a single man, it's just not going to happen. And I was just telling myself, and I had these limited beliefs in myself and my ability, and these limited beliefs in the ability of the universe to provide for me, because I just didn't have it. But I started changing my mindset. I started waking up in the morning with the mantra of, I'm so blessed to be in the presence of my girls. I'm so blessed to be fortunate and not live a life, like without my kids. And I've never gone without my kids since they've been born, which is a testament, because where I'm from, I have so many different friends that are not in their kids' life. I have so many different family members that, had to be raised by just their mom or just their dad. And I don't know, I just give it a testament to everything that I went through before that period, and the lessons that I learned from that period of being a single parent to now, right? It's prepared me. When this coronavirus thing hit, I remember telling my wife, right? Because I ended up getting married at the end of that storm that I went through. It was the best thing that I've could have ever done was found my wife. She is amazing. She just swooped in, and she was mom from day one, and it was so beautiful. But on to now, right? And these times that we're dealing with the pandemic, I remember when it first hit, just thinking like, man, I've been through so much worse than this. And it was bad. It's bad. Like, we've never had anything like a pandemic in our era. But I remember just saying with myself internally, right? I fought so hard, for all of these years, for myself and, for my identity, right? Because I had a conflict with identity and a conflict with who I was supposed to be, who I was not supposed to be. And I just like, I'm about to make it work. I'm about to make it work because I've been through so much.
Well, you know what? I'm so glad you did make it work, Tony. And look at you today. You're inspiring thousands, millions of people with the work you're doing. You're a very sought after motivational speaker. You are a leadership. You are in the position of leadership as well. So, Tony, what is your advice to somebody who's going through a custody battle, whether you're a single woman or a man? What is your one advice that's going to stick out, that still sticks out to you, for anybody who wants full custody of their children?
Yeah, I would say, do it with love. Do it with love, because I remember being in that period of just being so mad at my ex-wife, right? Just being so mad, I need help with buying diapers. I need help with food. I need this. How come you're not helping me with this? And then just having this resentment, right? Having this resentment towards her. And every interaction after that would be, well, you won't even help me. You're not there for us. Like, and I just had this chip on my shoulder. But when I switched my mind and I switched my whole frame of mind and just saying, you know what, I'm doing this for my beautiful kids, and I'm going to operate out of a spirit of love instead of a spirit of spite and resentment and a spirit of broken heartness. Like, I'm going to do this for the love of my kids, purely for the love of my kids. And that's what you got to say when you're going through this situation. You got to understand that you're doing it for love. There's no sense of getting full custody of your children if for whatever reason it's not going to be beneficial for that parent to be in their life. There's no reason to do it. There's nothing wrong with having shared custody. But what I want to tell anybody that's going through that situation is it's going to get hard. It's going to be rough. There's going to be moments where you're like, how do I do this? I got friends right now that are going through the same struggle of being a single parent. And we fellowship, whether it's through text, whether it's on the phone. And I'm telling them, you got to keep going, keep looking at those babies as a constant reminder. Those nights when you're in your bed and you're just like, man, how am I going to do this? Like, how is this going to happen? Those nights, what I would do is I would just go open the door and just look at my kids and just say, that's how I'm going to happen. That's how it's going to happen, because they need me to make it happen. And it's going to happen because I'm manifesting this amazing destiny for them. And if you make it about love and you're making it about them, that's how you get through it.
My goodness, that's so beautiful, Tony. And I'm so glad we're talking about this, because this is a subject we don't talk about, right? We as a society, as a culture, we just assume that, that I'm a full-time single mother, and everybody just assumes that I'm divorced because my daughter's father is not good enough or whatever. Mm. That's not the case. The case is that, there's sometimes life happens. Sometimes there is mental health issues. Sometimes there is immigration issues, many issues that can happen. And you know what? Every person has the capacity to be a wonderful human being. Everybody has the capacity to be a wonderful single parent or parent as well. But sometimes life situation happens where we can't be there for our children. And we have to remember something, that everybody has the brilliance in them, but also everybody has that darkness in them.
Yes.
Right? And
yes.
When we live in the light, we can then share that light with others.
Yes. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah. And Tony, moving on, it's been a while for you because you're remarried now and you have another child, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what is that one message of hope of how did you meet your new wife? Tell us a little bit about that and give us some hope in the dark times.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I met my wife, right? It wasn't traditional at all at that time. We got together. I think it was about like 2010. Let me not say I think it's about, because I'm gonna get in trouble as soon as I get out of here. But I'm not, for some reason, my brain, when it comes to like dates and stuff like that, it doesn't click sometimes. But we met around 2010, and the way that we met was through Plenty of Fish, right?
Wow.
Yeah, it was through Plenty of Fish. So I know it's 2021, and your listeners and your viewers, they're probably thinking, oh, okay, not a big deal. But in that time, you couldn't just really say, okay, I met this person on Plenty of Fish, or I met this person on MySpace at the time. Like, it was just kind of weird. Like, you don't even know them. They're not real. What if this, what if that? But we met on kind of a dare. She had a dare with one of her coworkers, and I had one with my buddies at the firehouse. They're like, hey, dude, it's time for you to get out of this rut. You come to work, all you're doing is studying, and you're doing this like personal development and all of this stuff. And at the time I was lifting weights really heavy, and they're like, we're just getting tired of it. We're getting tired of it. Dude, you need to talk to somebody else instead of us. And I remember saying okay and making a profile and just not even thinking nothing. I'm not going to mess with it. But back in the day, that's when the email
before text messaging, right?
This is you can send, people were sending text messages, but not right now. Text message like I love you, on my way, that kind of stuff, right? So I remember getting a message saying, your Plenty of Fish profile, it's getting views. And I was like, what? So I look at it and I'm like, to my surprise, because I wasn't necessarily operating, it was my friends. I see this picture that me and my friends took me in front of the fire truck, right? It's a long story, but I'm getting to it. But we're standing in front of the fire truck, and I got my shirt off, and I'm standing there with suspenders on. Just so freaking cheesy. I didn't think that we were even going to use that, but for whatever reason, they used it, and it I'm not going to say it worked because that's not. My wife thought that was cheesy. She thought that was cheesy. She hated it, but she saw my smile, and that's what she fell in love with. And when I saw her picture, I saw her eyes and I saw her smile, and I can just tell that there was something special there. Like I can tell 100%. And I sent the message to her, and she wrote me back. And I'm like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. So I'm in the firehouse at the time. I closed the door, and I'm like, yes, here we go. So we talked. The first time we talked hours. And when I say hours, I'm talking about probably 12 hours. Probably 12 hours of, maybe like little breaks in between. Hey, I'm on the way home from work. She's on the way home from work. Let me make dinner for my girls. You make dinner for your son at the time. And it was so beautiful that once we met, right? Once we met, I mean, it just took off. It took off. She's like, oh, why are you buying that? You don't have any paper towels at your house. You don't have any paper towel. Who don't have paper towels? Where's I just had I was just the stereotypical dude. I'm just making it work. I got this big old TV. That's all I needed. Comfortable couch. That's all I need. But she came in and she just, man, my girls became her girls like within an instant. We were going grocery shopping one day, and this is when it clicked for me. We were at the grocery store. She was coming to the grocery store with me, and she started throwing stuff in there for herself. And then she was like, okay, but you need this. Don't you need underwear? You need underwear. And it was just weird. We have been together for like not even a month, right? So we putting all of this stuff, and it's like all together. And there's like no divider. And I'm looking at that, and I don't even know if I even told her this story, or not told her this story, but like brought it up recently. But I remember just saying, oh man, this is beautiful. We're not divided. You and I, we're not divided. I've been divided from the world. I've been divided from society for like so long, just going through what I was going through. I mean, I had even went homeless during that period. So I'm just like, any love is critical for me. And this was that moment. And we got to the cash register, and she paid for it. And I was just like, what? I couldn't believe it. Like she paid for it. And we unloaded we make a long story short, we unloaded the groceries, and she left some stuff there that she had. And I'm like, wow, this is serious. And man, my girls just instantly had taken a liking to her. Her son had became my son. He was a young man at the time. He was 13, but instantly, we hit it off. And, and for anybody that's listening to this, the way that I did it might not work for you. The way that we did it, it might work, it might not work. But for me, with building my relationship with her son at the time, I went in as a friend because, he's 12, 13, him and his mom, he's the man of the house. And I know how that felt, being the man of the house of a single mom. You're going to be protective. So I'm like, hey, what are you into? Let's listen to this music together. What are you into? Oh, you want to skate? Let's go to the skate park. I want to learn more about you so that I can not have to like necessarily like be like your dad, be the boss of you, not even be a mentor, but just be a friend. And it grew from a friend to a mentor to an amazing relationship, to where he's telling me stuff that he's not telling his mom. And she's like, oh my God, I can't believe he told you that. And wow. Same thing with the girls. They're like, all of my girls, they just flocked to my wife. And then it was just this beautiful thing. And, my son has my last name now.
What?
Yeah, he has my last name now. And it's beautiful. And the crazy part about that is he didn't do it when he was a kid. We did this 3 years ago. My son's 24. We did this 3 years ago.
Wow.
To where he decided that he would do that. And it's the same thing with the girls and my wife. It's just we're all one. And we never did the step parent and none of that. We've never did that. And
oh my goodness, Tony, I love this, and this is so beautiful, and you're giving us so much hope and courage, and just saying, you know what, if it's possible for Tony, it's possible for Devina, it's possible for everybody who's watching as well, Tony. Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing your beautiful story. And you know, I would love for my community to find you, to find your family, to connect with you. But before we go there, we're gonna just pull the Sexy Brilliant cards, see what the message is today. This is the moment, Tony, and you're gonna see all the cards are coming up. They want to come up. So these are the Sexy Brilliant cards, and they're giving us an inspirational message.
Those are beautiful. I love those.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, Tony, I can't make this up, eh?
Yeah. Embrace diversity.
Yeah, that's the card we got today. Embrace diversity. We are all different. Let's learn more about each other and appreciate the differences between us. When we respect others, sexy, brilliant people are respected and empowered in return.
Oh, I received that.
Oh,
I received that.
Oh, what a beautiful card. And I can't make this up, Tony. This is beautiful. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and we are grateful. Before you go, please tell us how we can find you and how can we support your work.
I am on every social media site. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, recently Twitter. I'm on Clubhouse, and pretty much all you got to do is just type in Tony Taylor Inspires. If you would like to reach out to me, you're going through something and you just need some encouraging words that's tailored to you, I'm always available. My phone is always ringing off the hook. This is what I do. I love you. I could be reached at info@TonyTaylorInspires.com. That's info@TonyTaylorInspires.com.
Thank you so much, Tony, for coming on the Brilliantly Sexy Show with Devina. Did I say that right?
Yeah, I think you got it. You got it. Hey. I love it.
We have a running joke going on in the family about our S's. Okay, so.
Hey, don't feel bad. Hey, I'm not good with the S's. Either. There's some words that like I can't say. Ambulance. That's how I say it instead of it's ambulance. So don't worry. We're all good.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. Make sure you're sharing this video and paying it forward. And we are together inspiring more people. Thank you so much for being on the Brilliantly Sexy Show today. I love you guys.
Thanks for having me.
Oops. Is it done?
Thanks for joining us on Brilliantly Sexy with Devina Kaur. We value your time immensely and appreciate your shares, comments, and feedback. Devina Kaur is the best-selling author of Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious, a spiritual self-help workbook. Your purchases and donations support the Sexy Brilliant Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to removing toxic shame. Please discover our fantastic behind-the-scenes content on sexybrilliant.org.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Make sure you check out my first book, Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious, a spiritual self-help workbook meant to inspire you. Thank you, Tony, for being on. We love you. I'm getting a lot of comments saying Tony's got a sexy voice, and I want to hear from everybody here. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, my God.